In the Business Spotlight on News Talk 94.7 and 970 WMAY, it's another Local First Friday, and that means we spotlight another local business, and this time it's Rolling Meadows Brewery, and the new guy there, Chief Operating Officer Brian Tiffy's with us. Brian, listen, it's different to, I've interviewed you a number of times, but it's different to see you at a new thing with Rolling Meadows, so I guess the first question would be, why did you decide to get involved with Rolling Meadows?
Well, Rolling Meadows is a great brand. Overall, the farm to table or farm to foam, so to speak, is certainly different than a lot of the other microbrews in the area. And I've known the family for 20 plus years, so I've known that they've been good people for a long, long time. But, I felt a little bit of a change was necessary. They definitely had a need to grow. And, unfortunately, they lost their co-founder a few months ago, Connie, and we all miss her very, very much. And so I have some massive shoes to fill, but we're all doing what we can. We're coming together as a team and getting right back out there.
Let's talk a little bit about Rolling Meadows. First of all, tell us all about the business, how it got started. And, you mentioned it's a family for like 20 years and a red hot brand at times. And,
yes.
And sometimes it gets forgotten about a little bit. I mean, what's going on?
Well, of course. Rolling Meadows officially started in 2011, but prior to that, their story fell along the same lines as a lot of microbreweries, especially ones in our area, is that they started as home brewers and just love of great beer and learning the skill set in order to make our own, of course, developed into a need where oftentimes what I've seen the case is in microbreweries is that we can drink it faster than we can produce it. So we need a bigger facility to produce with. But the feedback that they had when they were just doing the homebrew batches was so wonderful and so overwhelming that they decided to go ahead and take that leap and jump into a full microbrewery. The style and tack that they take on things is different than a lot of microbreweries in general because they do farm to table. So sustainable agriculture, sourcing ingredients as locally as possible. Those are big things that I believe create a premium for the brand. And that can fluctuate in our identity as well, is that it will fluctuate of awareness of our brand based off of that niche that we fill.
Exactly. And the niche that you guys are filling is something that's happening all over America. It got to the point where microbreweries were becoming the force as far as beer goes. The sales basically flat, but the decline in domestics was made up for in the microbrews. Mm-hmm. Now it seems the microbrew area is very competitive, and it kind of leads to my next question. How has the business climate changed? Because, beforehand, you were at the Constant, obviously with Obed and Isaac's, big part of that, and obviously a great microbrewery. How has the business climate changed in this?
Well, for store shelves and restaurants, the production breweries, so to speak, as opposed to a brew pub like Obed and Isaac's and Ingrained, where you consume most of the beverages that they produce in-house. The production facilities, very little is consumed at the direct-to-consumer level. So we actually have to work through intermediaries, bars, restaurants, store shelves, and the like, in order to have our product out there. And with the craft scene exploding, competitiveness for shelf space has become a very strong thing in the industry. You have some distributors who carry 30 brands, and that distributor's job is to get all 30 of those brands on the store shelves. And when you have multiple distributors and then independent little guys like ourselves coming in, that space comes at a premium.
Yeah, it really does. But is it a big disadvantage, though, to be one of the little guys? Is it something that you can get muscled out of easily, or is it something that allows you an advantage because you are a local brewer?
There are pros and cons to being, directly related to our suppliers and vendors, our storefronts, our restaurants. We have distinct advantages that we're able to develop personal relationships, and the fact that we are small, so we can be nimble. We can turn on a dime if we need to. And if a customer or a client needs a specific service or product from us, we are happy to accommodate, and we can react more quickly than a 10-stop supply chain that some of the bigger producers might be able to have. So on the flip side, however, is that we're not coming in with 30 products that will fill a retailer's complete section of alcohol needs. So we have a smaller lineup, and in some bigger settings, they try to limit the number of vendors that they have. So it's just striking a balance between keeping our relationships local and very, very strong, as well as developing it throughout the entire state of Illinois, which, again, because of our niche, our farm to foam, sustainable agriculture type niche, I think that we do have some distinct advantages. One thing to add as well is that we are working on USDA organic status. And if
Oh, wow.
Yes. And so when that happens, then we will be a true organic brewery in addition to farm to foam, which then again just kind of puts us up again in a higher level.
I've heard a lot about organic, but that's the first time I've heard organic beer.
Mm-hmm. There's a brewery down St. Louis area called Old Bakery, and they do USDA organic beer, and they do good work. They do really, really good work. That's another reason why I love this industry, is that it's the type of industry where you don't have to worry about being cutthroat competitive, and you can truly enjoy other people's work. And it's a complementary cycle, so to speak.
Yeah, it's almost uncool to be, cutthroat like that in this. Yeah, definitely. Brian Tippy's with us. He's the Chief Operating Officer of Rolling Meadows Brewery on News Talk 94.7 and 970 WMAY, another local first business as we salute those on Friday. So what does the future of Rolling Meadows Brewery look like, Brian?
Well, we have actually done quite a few significant changes. Prior to me coming on board, we had chosen to do kind of a rebranding of our label, of our packaging, of quite a few different offerings that we have. Instead of the large bomber bottles, the 22-ounce brown bottles that people are used to seeing our products with, we have gone with 16-ounce cans that are available in individual servings at some locations and 4-packs at a lot of our retail locations. The aluminum is actually a lower carbon footprint, easier to recycle, and keeps the beer more fresh. So it's a win-win-win. As well as the fact that there's a lot of places that you can take aluminum that you cannot take glass. So that's a huge change. And the packaging for those cans is much different. We've embraced a little bit of our area and where we're from. So we do tie in with a little bit more of you'll see the cans with the new look has a little bit more of an old-fashioned feel. And when I say old-fashioned, I don't mean 1960s, I mean 1860s.
Oh, nice.
So yes, there's very classic images on there, icons that you'll see at a glance and immediately be able to identify. In addition, we've got a few new offerings coming out. Let's see here. We have a session IPA that's pretty fantastic. I'm not a hophead, and yet I really like our IPA. It's made with a new type of hop called Galaxy, which is a proprietary hop, and it's a really rich, amazing hop, and it's got like stone fruit essences in it. So you can get hints of like passion fruit or mango in there. It's really amazing, and it creates a very flavorful beer. That will be the next offering we put out in cans, and that'll be out in the next few weeks. We've got some, of course, fruit offerings, and I'll tie in again with our local sourcing of things. The 2 fruit offerings, and those will be in the classic 22-ounce bottles for this year's release, as the strawberry basil and blueberry thyme. All 4 of those ingredients came from either our farm or Jeffrey's Orchards.
Oh, nice.
So we're more limited about the quality of the ingredients that we can obtain locally than we are our brewing capacity. We could make a lot more beer if we didn't care where our ingredients came from, but we really do care about it. And so that's another huge deal, staying true to those roots.
Brian, why is it important for a group like a Rolling Meadows Brewery to be part of a local First Springfield?
Well, it's part of the bigger ecosystem of our community, so to speak, not just economically, but socially as well. It takes all types and all kinds coming from all directions in order to be a true community. And with the local first, it's I believe has to do with supporting our local businesses as well as keeping dollars in our local community. If I'm not mistaken, somewhere between 75 and 85 cents of every dollar that is spent locally on a local business stays in that local region. So it helps our community stay strong economically, which then also allows us to do other things besides just strengthening community ties.
Terrific, Brian. Where can people find Rolling Meadows? I know you guys are in all the liquor stores and stuff, but it's on tap at a bunch of places too, right?
Oh, my goodness. We would make this interview run pretty long if I listed all the places, and it's growing every week.
That's cool.
But on the store shelves, for example, I know that you can find our products at Hy-Vee, at Friar Tuck, at Party House Liquors, at both Schnucks locations here in town. I know that I'm missing a few, so I apologize to our retailers. Several great restaurants around town carry our products, and it's growing every day. You will also be able to join us out at the brewery for some events where we will also have special releases. Some items will only be released on site at the brewery, like this historic beer we have coming up on October 7th.
Very, very cool. And if they can find out more on the web, where can they go?
Certainly. RM Brewery is our Rolling Meadows Brewery, or rmbrewery.com is our website. Of course, they can follow us on Facebook as well. And the website is currently being updated, but you'll see the new logo with our llama mascot now, and a few of the new items coming out in the next couple days.
Very good. Brian Tippy, thank you so much. We appreciate your time on Local First section of the Business Spotlight here at News Talk 94.7 and 970 WMAY. Coming up next, Mike Winmacher has a look at the sports.